The sun was just beginning to sink behind the trees when Ava Morgan's 12th birthday party began to settle into that golden hour lull, the kind where everything felt warm, nostalgic, almost like it had already become a memory. Ava twirled under the banner that read double digits +2, a grin lighting her freckled face. Her long brown hair caught a sunbeam as she spun, the pink ribbon tied into it fluttering like a kite tail. Her laugh, that pure, sing-songy laugh, carried across the yard and into the hearts of everyone watching. Her mom, Ava Morgan, stood near the back porch with a pitcher of lemonade in one hand, waving away a wasp with the other. Her husband, Matt, had just finished grilling, his kiss the chef, apron already stained with ketchup and charcoal. Ava's younger brother Noah, face smudged with frosting, was tangled in a game of backyard tag with a few other kids. It was as ordinary as any suburban backyard party in Roseridge, Oregon. Balloons, a unicorn cake, twinkle lights strung across the fence, parents chatting on lawn chairs, occasionally snapping pictures. Someone had brought a karaoke mic, someone else brought a drone. And then, just like that, Ava was gone. Olivia would later replay the timeline over and over in her mind, dissecting it like a surgeon on autopilot. 4:43 p.m. Ava opened her last gift, a silver locket from Grandma June. 4:45, Olivia handed out slices of cake. 4:46, the neighbor's toddler tripped and scraped a knee. Olivia bent to help. 4:48, laughter and music still filled the yard. 4:50, someone asked, "Hey, where's Ava?" At first, it wasn't panic, just curiosity, the way you might notice a guest had slipped inside to use the bathroom, or maybe needed a minute away from the noise. But when Olivia walked into the house and called her daughter's name once, twice, and got nothing but silence in return, the tight feeling in her chest began to grow. The bathroom? Empty. Ava's room. Door wide open. Bed untouched. Basement. Lights off. Garage? No sign. Treehouse. Still locked from the outside. By 4:58, Olivia was yelling. By 5:02, every parent at the party had dropped their paper plates and fanned out into the neighborhood calling Ava's name. By 5:15, Olivia was on the phone with 911, her voice trembling. She was just here. She was just here. Roseridge police arrived fast. Too fast for Olivia to process what was happening. The yard, once bursting with color and chatter, became a canvas of silence and flashing blue lights. Yellow tape cordoned off the balloon arch. A party hat lay crushed near the fence, cake smeared into the grass like some accidental offering. Officer Dana Willis, a seasoned woman with crow's feet and a kind but tired voice, took Olivia aside. No custody battles, no health issues, no chance she ran away. Olivia's mouth quivered. This is Ava. She didn't even like sleepovers. She wouldn't leave without telling me. She wouldn't. Dana nodded but kept scribbling in her notebook. Matt was inside reviewing the footage from their backyard security cam. But the angle missed most of the action, and it had glitched for several seconds during the party. Static, he muttered, the exact minute she went missing. No forced entry. No signs of struggle. No sounds. No screams. Ava had simply vanished, as if the earth had swallowed her whole. But it was Noah, 6 years old, who said the words that sent a chill through everyone standing nearby. She followed the man. He mumbled, picking at a blade of grass. Everyone turned. What man, sweetheart? Olivia asked, kneeling beside him. Noah looked up. The man in the gray hoodie. He told her to come. I saw them walk by the red balloon. There had been dozens of balloons, but only one red one, the one tied to the back gate, and it was untied. The next morning, the backyard was still a mess. Wrappers scattered, balloons tangled in the hedge. A single party hat sat perched on the fence post like a ghost left behind. Olivia hadn't slept. Neither had Matt. They were both in the living room, faces pale, surrounded by cups of untouched coffee and scraps of police paperwork, when Olivia's sister, Harper, arrived. She hadn't been at the party. She was out of town. But now she was here, still in airport clothes, clutching a large black camera bag. I brought this, she said breathlessly. holding up the camcorder. Olivia blinked. What is that? Your old one. I used it to film Ava's party yesterday, remember? I was testing out the vintage lens. It's old school, but it records everything. I figured maybe something's on here. Matt sat upright. Harper plugged the camcorder into the laptop. Everyone held their breath as the video began to play. The video was grainy but steady. Harper had a surprisingly good eye for angles. It showed Ava blowing out candles. A brief clip of Noah making a face at the camera. Kids playing with bubbles. Olivia waving and laughing. Then, timestamp, 4:44 p.m. Harper had left the camera on a tripod near the lemonade table. The frame showed the yard in full view. Cake table on the left, swing set on the right. Kids running in and out of frame. Then came the shift. At 4 hours 46 minutes and 12 seconds, Ava appeared in frame. She was walking toward the back gate, slowly, like someone was calling her. Matt leaned closer. There, that's her. Pause it. Harper paused the footage. Everyone squinted. Next to the gate, partly obscured by a bush, was a figure. Tall, wearing a gray hoodie. Zoom in, Olivia whispered. Harper did, but the figure's head was angled down. The resolution wasn't strong enough to reveal a face. Then, Ava stepped toward the figure. She looked calm, and then she vanished behind the hedge line. No one came back out. Timestamp, 4 hours 46 minutes and 58 seconds. Nothing for the next few minutes. Harper let the video continue playing. At 4 hours 50 minutes and 1 second, one of the party guests crossed the yard yelling Ava's name. Matt sat back in his chair, hands on his face. She was taken, Olivia said, her voice barely audible. Someone took our daughter right in front of all of us, and no one noticed. Then Harper froze. Wait, rewind 10 seconds. What? Just rewind it. Slowly, Harper scrolled back to 4 hours 46 minutes and 49 seconds. Ava's foot was just stepping into the shadow of the figure. And then, for one brief frame, one blink of time, the footage glitched. Not static, not digital fuzz, but something else. The trees in the background bent sharply left, like a gust of wind blew through only one part of the yard. The red balloon tied to the gate rose vertically as if pulled, and in the upper right corner of the frame, a second figure, watching, motionless, eyes reflecting the light like an animal's. Roseridge police took the footage that same evening. Olivia begged them to find the man in the gray hoodie, to enhance the frame, to trace the face. Detective Rowan Brandt, a newcomer transferred from Salem PD, took over the case. He was quiet, methodical, with a sharpness behind his tired eyes. I've seen something like this before, he murmured after watching the footage. Years ago. Another girl. Same age. Same kind of party. Same disappearance. Matt stiffened. Where? Pendleton. 1996. She walked off during her birthday party. No trace. Only clue was a party video with strange interference and a man in a hoodie. Olivia blinked. Are you saying this is a pattern? I'm saying. Brandt paused, choosing his words. If it is, then your daughter may not be the first, and she may not be the last. Later that night, Harper reviewed the footage again alone. She froze the frame at 4 hours 46 minutes and 52 seconds. There, in the far distance, barely visible, a reflection in the glass patio door. A child, pale, standing just inside. But it wasn't Ava, and she was wearing a party hat from another era. Harper stared at the frozen image on her laptop screen long after everyone else had gone to bed. The girl reflected in the patio door was unmistakably not Ava. Her hair was shorter, her dress was lace-trimmed, and her party had looked like something out of a photo album from the 1980s. Harper zoomed in. The reflection was faint, warped by the glass, but the girl was looking directly at the camera, or at Harper herself. Harper's chest tightened. She clicked back through the party footage. 4 hours 46 minutes and 10 seconds. Ava walking toward the gate. 4 hours 46 minutes and 30 seconds. The man in the hoodie leans closer. 4 hours 46 minutes and 52 seconds. Static glitch. 4 hours, 46 minutes, and 53 seconds. The girl in the glass. Then gone. Detective Rowan Brandt met Harper the next morning at the Roseridge police station. I found something, Harper said, laptop clutched tight. I need you to look. Rowan watched the footage. When Harper pointed out the reflected girl, he visibly stiffened. That's her, he muttered. Who? Madeline Griggs. Disappeared from Pendleton in 1996 during her birthday party. Same age. Same setup. Same hoodie-wearing figure caught on VHS. No suspect ever found. Case went cold. Harper stared at him. You're telling me a girl who vanished almost 30 years ago showed up in the reflection at my niece's party? Rowan ran a hand down his jaw. I know how it sounds. He reached into a locked cabinet and returned with a beige folder labeled Cold Case. M. Griggs. Inside were faded photos, handwritten notes, and one disturbing detail. Witness statement, 1996. Madeline followed a man near the red balloon. I saw her in the window after she disappeared, smiling. Abby Griggs, 6 years old, Madeline's sister. A chill ran through Harper's spine. She was seen after she vanished like Ava. Rowan nodded. The man in gray shows up every 8 to 10 years. Always a girl. Always around 11 to 13 years old. Always at a celebration. And always, he added darkly, a red balloon nearby. He leaned forward. I think this man, whatever he is, isn't just abducting them. I think he's leaving something behind in their place. That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. She wandered into Ava's room, where everything remained untouched. Birthday cards still opened on the dresser. The locket from Grandma June sat coiled in the jewelry box. She picked it up and opened it. 2 pictures inside, Ava on one side. A black and white portrait of a young girl she didn't recognize on the other. Her hands trembled. She ran to Matt. Did you see this? That picture's not from me. Not from June. That's not our daughter. Matt stared at it. She looks like she's from another time. They brought it to Harper. Harper compared it to the case file photos from the police station. It matched one of them perfectly. Madeline Griggs. Later that week, Rowan got clearance to visit the Pendleton Records vault, a dusty archive of forgotten police reports. What they found was worse than expected. There were more than just 2 girls. 6 cases. Same M.O. Same party footage glitches. Same eerie red balloon. But only one thread connected them all. Each girl, in the days before she vanished, spoke to someone that no one else could see. A man, always described as gray. The final report in the file was dated May 11th, 1980, the earliest known case. In the margin, a detective had scrawled. Child mentioned a mirror friend. Said he lives in the in-between. Only shows up when music plays, and everyone forgets to look. Rowan read it twice, then looked at Harper. What if this man doesn't exist like we think? What if he's not walking through our world? Harper whispered. But stepping out of theirs? 3 days after Ava vanished, Harper received an anonymous package at her front door. No return address. Just her name, scribbled in smudged black marker. Inside was a cassette tape. No label. Just a single loop of magnetic ribbon, dusty and slightly crinkled, tucked into a cracked plastic case. Confused, Harper borrowed an old tape player from the local library. Olivia and Matt joined her, sitting close as she pressed play. Static. Then, laughter. Children laughing, giggling. Music playing faintly in the background, tinny, distant. Ava's voice unmistakable. I don't want to go. It's getting dark. A second voice. Male. Come. Almost mechanical. You said you'd come with me. A pause. Then Ava again. But I want to stay. Whispering. Garbled. Other voices. Familiar ones. Matt. Olivia. Rowan. Then a strange tone, like a song slowed down, warping into something unrecognizable. Then the sound of a balloon popping. Silence. The tape clicked off. Olivia's hands were shaking. How did they record that? Where is she? Why send this to Harper? Matt stood up, pacing. She's still alive. She has to be. Harper rewound the tape, this time with headphones. She closed her eyes and focused. At the end, just before it cut off, one final whisper. Behind the house. Under the roots. Look for the mirror. Behind the Morgan house was a thick wall of trees. The neighborhood backed into a wooded area once used for logging, now abandoned, overgrown. The kids called it Shadow Wood. Detective Rowan joined them that night as they searched. Flashlights in hand, they wandered deep into the tangled brush. At the base of an ancient maple, Noah pointed. There, half buried beneath gnarled roots, was a circular mirror, about 2 feet wide, covered in dirt and pine needles. Harper brushed it off and gasped. The glass wasn't reflecting them. It showed a different backyard. Still and silent. Same balloons. Same cake table. But it was dusk there, and the trees looked wrong. More twisted. Barren. As if the forest itself had withered. Then movement. Ava. She stepped into view in the mirror. Pale. Confused. Her eyes scanning. Searching. Her lips moved. She said something, but no sound came. Olivia dropped to her knees. Ava. It's me. Look at me. Ava looked directly at her, but didn't seem to see her. She reached out. Her fingers touched the glass from the other side. And then, a shadow. The man in gray. He stepped behind her, one hand on her shoulder. Then, the mirror cracked. 2 days later, Rowan received an email from an anonymous address. It had a single attachment. Ava_final_edit.mov. He opened it. It was the original camcorder footage, but longer. Extended. The ending had been removed in the version Harper had seen. Now, after the glitch and Ava's disappearance, the video continued. The camera sat unmoving for 27 minutes. Then, at 5:13 p.m., a figure walked back into frame. Ava, but older, taller, her eyes blank, dress torn. She walked across the frame in silence, paused, turned toward the camera, and smiled. A strange, eerie smile that didn't reach her eyes. Then behind her, more children. 6 of them, each one holding a balloon, red, floating, perfectly still. Each one with eyes that glowed faintly in the evening light. They stood behind her, staring, watching, and then, as if cued, they all turned and walked back toward the woods. One by one, vanishing. Epilogue. Ava Morgan was never found. But every year, on May 28th, the Morgans still set out a slice of cake in the backyard. And every year, as the sun sets, the red balloon tied to the fence rises slowly, as if lifted by a hand unseen. Olivia swears she sometimes hears a whisper in the trees. A child's laugh. A song. A promise. I'll come back when the music stops. But only if you remember me. And only if no one's looking. Some say it was an abduction. Others, a tragedy twisted by grief. But those who've watched the full home video know better. They know there's something else. Something ancient. Lurking just out of frame. And they know. Not every child who vanishes wants to be found. The end. If this story blew your mind, hit that bell icon so you never miss a moment.